Hey guys, it's your girl Samantha the Great, and I wanted to do commentary on some of the videos that I watched, which were quite disturbing to watch, with Derrick Jaxn and just talking about him cheating in his marriage. The first video I wanted to start was with his wife, Dania. As others have said, my background for me when it comes to this situation is that I never followed Derrick Jaxn before. I never subscribed to what he was talking about. Some of the stuff he was saying, it's like, okay, he's right about certain things, but I just felt like, I guess I didn't really have a lot of faith in black males because I don't date outside my race, but I didn't have a lot of faith in black males in this modern time that they would change. And I think that partly was because I was with a narcissist myself for the last almost 7 years. I have three younger sons, and that's their father. So I feel like this is a great time for me to just speak out and talk about some of my experiences so that I can shed some light on what I feel that Danae is going through while she's with her narcissist, was, I guess, quote unquote, exposed for cheating on her. So we're going to go ahead and play the video. Try to keep this video short and not be too long-winded with my explanation and talking about this. But I really feel that it's important just to have my voice out there, because I've seen some of everybody commenting, and what I don't see so far are people commenting who've actually been in a situation like this, and is actually a victim in the situation. So I'm gonna go ahead and play the video, and then I'll give my commentary.
Today I am joined by my lovely wife, Danae, and we just wanted to address a couple of things. We understand that some of you may have already heard, maybe not, that this chapter of our marriage is one that was preceded by a marriage that I completely failed. And I would say it just started around August, maybe September of last year. But, a lot has been said already about what was the cause and all that other stuff. Some of it is true. Some of it is completely false. But the truth is, and I'm saying it here now, is that Derrick Jaxn was involved with other women outside the marriage. And by involved, I want to be clear, I'm not talking about just...
So the first thing I want to say is an issue. One, he seems way too upbeat to be coming out with this video that is extremely devastating and humiliating to his wife and his marriage. And not to even include the fact that his whole business is wrapped around him giving the persona that he is a good man, who respects women, would be the type of guy that will respect his marriage and honor his vows. Her demeanor, to me, she looks like she's just going along with it. The first thing I noticed when I first watched this video, I want to say it was on my TV screen. But I noticed on here on my phone, if I'm watching it from my phone, it says the comments are turned off, which I think is very telling in and of itself. Derrick Jaxn does not want to hear feedback from anyone about his shenanigans. His wife, she's probably, he's probably doing that for her as well, so she doesn't see what people are saying about the situation, so that she won't get any ideas in her head to leave. He seems like he has her pretty well brainwashed, which is what narcissists do. Another thing I noticed is her appearance versus his appearance. This is very typical when you're in a relationship with a narcissist. They usually maintain their physique, making sure they are in shape, they're working out, and they don't give any kind of care about the woman, not the woman, but just the partner that they're with, as far as making sure they can do the same thing, take care of themselves and have that self-care routine, such as just working out, maybe going to get facials, a spa, massages, just taking care of your well-being. Narcissists are not concerned about that. They're just concerned about themselves. So they'll have their hair will be perfect, clothes will be perfect. He probably even smells nice while she hasn't had a shower in 3 or 4 days because she's exhausted, depressed, stay-at-home mom, etc. Let me see what else I picked up so far from this. Those are the things I just noticed right off the bat. His face is very animated. He seems almost giddy, like he just enjoys the fact that he just gets to talk about himself because that's how much they love themselves. They don't. I feel like narcissists don't know. They can't. They are sociopaths. Sociopaths to me. They don't. They have that antisocial behavior where they really don't realize. They don't know how to read a situation. Like it's like if they are what do you call it? Reacting to your emotions appropriately. I feel like it's more of a learned thing they do to try to act normal versus compared like just but not really something they really genuinely feel. So for him it's almost like he's smiling, and then one of the most tragic events in their lives that should be very tragic for the both of them and their marriage and their family. They have children who are one day going to see these videos, see this fallout. You know, everything's on the internet now. He doesn't seem, his face does not match the severity of what's going on in the situation. His wife, however, she does look just, she looks like she's almost like in shock. Like she looks devastated. She looks like she's trying to make him happy by acting like she has moved on from his infidelity. I don't know any wives that can move on from their husband's infidelity, especially multiple times with multiple women in their marital home, in their marital bed. It's too many things. And that's what narcissists do. They have no filter. They push the boundaries until you put your foot down, and they just continue to disrespect you. Like it just goes from one thing to the next thing to the next thing to the next thing. And his wife, because she's not putting her foot down, she seems like she's allowing him to walk all over her. He just keeps doing more things. And they're like, to me, narcissists are like petulant children. They're like Donald Trump. They like to get their way. They like to try to see what they can get away with. Even though he's a grown man, he should know better. You know, he took the vows. He's a grown-ass man. Like, he should know what he should and should not be doing to her. But narcissists love to exploit people, especially the ones closest to them, the ones they're supposed to love the most. They exploit them because they don't have that ability to read those social cues and express empathy. You know, it's like they are giddy. He loves the fact that he's a sadist. So he loves the fact, I feel that he is giving the appearance that he loves the fact that he's embarrassing her. He's humiliating her. He's hurting her. It's like they almost feed off of that stuff. They just thrive off of it. And he's loving the fact that he's getting all this attention. Because honestly, before this situation happened, I mean, like you can see it says 1.1 million views. Before this even happened, and that's only for the last 6 days, this thing's had 1.1 million views. And I've seen them talking about this on ET Canada. Like, you name it, is like everybody's talking about Derrick Jaxn. And like a week ago, I didn't even know he lived in a mansion. I didn't know his life was that. I didn't know he was making that kind of money. I think I knew he was married, but there's so many like guys coming out talking about relationships that I think I was confused. I honestly think I'm confusing him with Tony Gaskins, because I know Tony Gaskins is married. I'm pretty sure, but I'm not on social media enough, and I don't follow either one of them like that to be knowing their personal lives. So I'm just going to keep I'm going to go ahead and jump into the rest of this video and let you go, and I'll just continue to kind of interject as I notice things.
Casually kicking it, maybe a lunch or something like that. I'm talking about as serious as sex.
And I'm going to say right now, I had to stop for a minute. I have a very hard time watching this video. I don't know how his wife sat there, and I do think he's like holding her hostage. I mean, the way I noticed it right away, the way he's holding her whole arm. I mean, they're not even holding hands like they're in love. He's like, she looks extremely uncomfortable. Her shoulder is up over, and then her arm is over his big arm. It's just the weirdest, most uncomfortable position that she could be in. And I was really shocked that she was on camera in this outfit. People say, oh, don't talk about the wife's outfit, blah, blah. that's distracting, or she can look however she wants. Yeah, that sounds good in theory, but we all know that, especially in America, where it's an extremely shallow society. So we're not going to pretend that looks don't matter when everybody and mama is getting plastic surgery for like the most stupid things. So the least she could do is do her hair and wear like a beautiful outfit, like a beautiful dress, something to make her feel good, and take the glasses off. She has pictures where she's not wearing her glasses, her hair is done, she's wearing cute outfits. And yes, I'm aware she has children, but there's got to be something you can fit that will look nice for this moment, because this is just such a bad moment. I feel like as a woman, I know for me, whenever I can wear things to make me feel, it makes me feel better. So if I wear nice things like jewelry, put on a little bit of makeup, put on a dress, feel like a woman, even heels, whatever, you do your hair. And for Black women, we know how important our hair is. So this whole video is extremely disturbing to me. Extremely disturbing. And I don't want to hear people, because I've heard some YouTubers saying like, oh, we shouldn't be talking about her thing. I get what you're trying to say. What you're trying to do is noble, but we're going to be real here. Black women, we like to have our hair done. And this is the probably most watched video Derrick Jaxn has done. It's probably the most highly watched video he's ever done. It's like the first time he's ever put his wife on camera with him. Like, a lot of people didn't even know who she was. Some people didn't even know he was married. And the first time you come out on this big event where you are publicly being humiliated and you look like you just rolled out of bed and put a bonnet on and some mom clothes and jumped in front of the camera, unacceptable. And we can't say, oh, it's because she's religious, she's this, that. You can't come up with anything. One, she's worn makeup in other pictures. Two, she's wearing pants. Most Black people, including myself, have grown up in the Black church, so we know. I mean, my grandmother, extremely holy, extremely strict about following the Bible and being as godly as possible. So her clothes don't say like, oh, she's doing this because of her religion. No, because if she was, she'd be wearing a dress. So I'm going to admit, like, it's hard for me to watch this video. That's why I keep stopping it. I'm going to struggle to get through it, because this needs to be done. For women out there who are in this situation, you are not alone. I want you to know you're not alone. And I'm going to talk to you later, probably another video, because I don't want this one to be too long, of how to get out, how to see those signs, what to do, and how to run for the hills and, better your life. So I'm going to attempt to try to get this video, and I'll stop when things come out that jump out at me as I'm like, as we're getting through the 7-minute video.
Sexual flirtation and meeting up and that kind of thing, and some things that otherwise may be considered okay by some, in terms of like just chatting or checking on people or being checked on by people that I've had a previous encounter with, but without my wife's knowledge of it, and with us having a sexual history, all of it falls under the umbrella of inappropriate, cheating, affair, stepping out. Definitely not in alignment with the vows that I took. And definitely not in alignment with the biblical standard of what it means to be faithful, which is the standard that I'm going by now. Now, I'm saying this publicly, not because I'm, married to you guys. First and foremost, I'm accountable to God. Then I have to be accountable to my wife, in which we've already had this conversation. I've already told her literally everything.
Okay, so they're bringing up God, which is nice and all. I always wonder why guys who are quote unquote godly men, like pastors, preachers, Derrick Jaxn with his extremely religious wife, where was God before you cheated on your wife? Where was he at in this equation? Like, where was he? Why weren't you thinking about God when you were trolling the mall, looking for women to sleep with, or sitting outside someone's work for 2 hours, waiting for her to get off so you could sleep with her? Where was God then in your life? Because you knew you were married. You knew you made vows. You knew you want to say you're a godly person. God should not have had you. He wouldn't have had you sitting outside somebody's job waiting to have sex with them in the car. So to me, I just feel like the God stuff that he's saying now is a ploy. It's like a marketing ploy. He's trying to scramble and save his business because it's based on relationships. And he's like the absolute last person who should be doing relationship advice. Like, it's just, I think that's what made the story so big. It's just insane. I mean, he's been doing this since 2011, so at least 10 years. And the way this is, like, the bottom of this is falling out, like, just all these women coming out of the woodworks, like, it's just, and I even heard that one of them might be pregnant by him. One might already have a kid by him. I'm like, the guy has a sexual addiction problem. But now he's on here talking about God this, God that. You can bring God into it, but I would like for you to admit at least that you have a problem. And say you're seeking counsel. I think they did say that, but it's like, I don't know where to go. And that's what narcissists do. They kind of just have you just like, just run. That's really the only thing you can do. Get the hell away from it. As far as you can get away from it as possible, because they're not going to change. Even with his quote unquote apology, he looks like he really could care less. He looks like he's learned nothing. And even while I was watching this the first time a few days ago, I felt like I could be almost 100% sure he still had some women that he was sleeping with. Like, he's talking like my wife and I knew about this like a year ago at least, and he even had time to write a book about it, which I think is strange. I'm like, shouldn't you be more worried about fixing your relationship and your marriage than writing books and getting some money off of this stuff that you're profiting off of her pain and your infidelity? There's so much wrong with that. There's like no words. I was married for, I think, 6 years, and then we got back together like after our divorce. So all together with the same man, like 10 years. And then I got with the guy that my younger children are with. I was with him. I'm not going to say been because we're over. I was with him almost 7 years. So like in the last 2 decades, I was with 2 guys, and I have never cheated on them. So for him to be sitting here and talking like I'm godly, a God-fearing person, God this, God that, and I'm holding my wife's hand, it's just like ludicrous to me. Like, it's ludicrous. Like, where was God in your life then when you were like, where was your God? Because I don't know what God you're praying to. I don't think it's my God, because you showing all the way out. You're acting like a devil. You're acting like a demon. Like, you're acting crazy. There's really no explanation for his behavior. Like, that's why I feel like it's gotten so much attention, because it is so in contrast to what he talks about on a daily, I mean, almost daily. When I used to be on Facebook, I really haven't been on there in like a year since COVID happened. I'm just like, whatever. But when I was on there, like, I would just see constantly his videos popping up. I mean, you've seen it for years. His stupid videos coming up, and then I find out he's an author, quote unquote author. I don't even know if he wrote his own books, but he has like all these books that he's written about relationships, and it's just like, it's like, what the heck is going on? Like, how narcissistic do you have to be to sit there and do these videos telling women to stay away from men? Who are you? You're that guy. I've never seen anything like this in my life, especially in real life. Like, it's insane. That's like me sitting here, like, telling guys, stay away from, like, trifling women who are sleeping around, who do this, who cheat on men. And I'm that woman. I'm that woman doing those things. Like, how do you do that? Only a narcissist could disconnect like that. Only they could be having that cognitive dissonance where they can just act like that's those people that are doing that, not me, even though I'm the one doing it too. And at a worse level, at a higher rate, or just on a whole nother level than any normal person. Yeah, I don't know.
Basically a roll call list. If I've said hello to a woman in the last 12 years of me knowing her, she knows about it. But now that it's been made so public, it's important that I first off let you guys know I do not stand by those actions. I don't want to encourage anybody to do that. And then secondly, I know that I cannot build a platform preaching certain things, preaching against certain things, and then in my real life live contrary to that for any amount of time or any length of time to any extent, and think that I can't be held accountable.
I feel like even as he's doing this video, it's not an apology, and I feel like he's still almost like coaching us. Like it's just like he's still talking from a place of authority. I don't see any humility there. Like, I feel bad for what I did. I feel that bad that I embarrassed or humiliated my wife and my children. You know, I have a problem. I need to fix it. Like, I just don't see that humility, and I don't see an apology anywhere. I joke and call it his apology tour because I knew it was coming. I was like, great. Time I heard the fallout, and I saw there was like receipts with the mistress or whatever. I knew he was about to go on that apology tour and start, begging for some forgiveness or whatever so he can save his money and his business. And I'm not buying it. I'm literally like every 2 seconds rolling my eyes. I can't even like watch this video without rolling my eyes the whole time he's talking.
Same way that I preach, men and women in this situation need to face consequences of their actions, deserve to be held accountable. Guess what? Derrick Jaxn's no exemption. He's not exempt from that. I'm also not a victim. Nobody made me do this. She didn't make me or push me to do it. The next person didn't make me. No friend influenced me. It don't matter how I was raised and what trauma, whatever. Look, I made decisions. I made a series of decisions that I got to account for. There's no excuse or justification. I've already made that bed and have had to lie in it. And now we're finally getting on.
I've noticed that they also several times will say he made his bed, he had to lie in it. I think those are really interesting words when he literally laid in his marital bed and cheated on his wife in his marital bed. So I'm just like, this is almost like sadistic speech to me that he says that phrase a few times. She says it a few times. I'm just like, you would think this couple would not want to talk about beds for a very long time.
The other side personally in our own healing and our own marital oneness. And now this is being made public to you guys. So we're bringing that forth to you guys to let you know where we're at with that. But did you want to say anything?
Yes, so I do want to just add that I agree with what he just said. There is no justification for bringing other women into our marriage on any level. And it was unacceptable. And it's not something that I tolerate or that we tolerate moving forward. And when I've been flooded again with messages and these things and about, I need to leave or why haven't I left? And the answer is, when I found out about it, I left. I did not hesitate or waste time to do so. And I stayed gone. No matter how many times he came, I stayed gone and stood firm on, I am not coming back. And I did not come back until I seen a shift and a change in his mentality and how he carried himself and how he presented himself and conversations that we were able to have that we had never been able to have in just 12 years of knowing each other. And when we were able to have these dialogues, said, okay, Lord, this is something that you've had your hand on. And this was with me being completely removed from his life. And him pursuing God, continuing to pursue God, and continuing to eliminate these things that led up to the catastrophe that you guys are seeing for the first time. So there's nothing out there right now that is information that I don't already know about or haven't known about. And so this is not something that is new. We have moved forward.
So in listening to Janaea, her body language speaks of being on the defense. She seems very defensive. Even the little scoff, like like the little laugh she just gave, she just seems like she has a lot of attitude and anger towards, and is going in the wrong direction. It should be aimed towards her husband. She's clearly mad, but the words she's saying doesn't match what she's probably actually feeling. Like she doesn't, it's just so much going on there. And I can't understand her psychology or the way her mind is working as much as his, because women are a lot more complex. I feel like she's trying to act like she is like ahead of this so she won't seem like a victim or be embarrassed. But no matter what she says, it's like, no, girl, And it's like, it's almost like the more you talk, the more you're putting your foot in your mouth. Like, you just look crazier and crazier and crazier. I just feel like she's in a sunken place. I said it. I feel like I feel like somebody needs to save this girl, get her out of the sunken place. She is gone. Because I know for me, even with my narcissist, if I would have had valid proof that he slept, because there were definitely things that came up, because I was, things I was like, what is this? This is fish. This is, I'm feeling suspect about it. But if I had like valid proof where girls are coming out, there was videos, there was text messages, all this stuff, like, I would not only would I not be sitting next to him holding his stupid hand, but I wouldn't even be there. And I can understand when people say, like, you should leave. No, it's not easy to just leave, especially when you have kids, and especially if you're not working because you have kids and you're taking care of the kids. Most of us are not millionaires, or we could just fly away in our private jet with the kids and roll out or whatever. So I can understand why she wouldn't leave. It's the fear of the unknown. It's like, this is her life. So if she left, if she has to figure out how she's going to make money, how she's going to take care of her kids, where are they going to live, what is life like without her husband, when they've been together a long time, like 12 years. So it's like, I think all she knows really is him. She's probably had a few other guys on the side, but I feel like he's like her main boyfriend, husband, everything, like her first everything. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure she's going to get fed up, especially with everybody talking, and then more mistresses are coming out. I'm pretty sure she's going to get fed up and leave, because everybody has a breaking point.
Forward from it, we have gotten counsel for it and continue to do so. He is still.
I also noticed while she's talking, Derrick is trying to look like he's humble and a victim, and he's trying to look innocent when he's anything but.
Continuing to pursue God and continuing to seek guidance and wise counsel from men of God. And that is what I needed for the continuation of me being present in this marriage and to stand by his side. So today, where I'm at is at peace, and I proudly stand.
I feel like any kind of affection he gives her is because she's saying the things he wants her to say. She's giving him a lot of excuses for his bad behavior and saying, oh, we went to counseling, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm noticing he's stroking her hand, and he's looking at her a little bit more lovingly as long as she keeps saying the right things. I don't think that look was as endearing when she was saying she left and da-da-da, and she did this to, like, kind of punish him for his bad behavior. But I feel like the way he's looking at her now, when she's saying, like, she's accepted his infidelities and they're moving on, he seems almost happy. This is, like, I think the most loving he's looked at her since this whole video started.
By his side, and I have no hesitation, I have no hurt, no shame about that. And it's only because of the grace of God and the mercy of God. And we have already turned a new chapter in this story. We are continuing to move forward, and we are just now sharing that with you all. And I forgave him. And most importantly, God has first forgiven him, and I also forgive the others as well. And with that, we are free and moving forward. So absolutely, that's all I have.
Yeah. And I get it. Some of y'all, like, this may come as a huge shock, probably a huge disappointment. I let a lot of you down. If you've had a perspective shift on who Derrick is, hopefully it's away from anything remotely close to perfection. And it is simply that, I am a human. And that does not justify anything that I did. But I don't want anybody out there to be putting me on a pedestal. If you did, then I hate that you did that. Maybe I gave you cause for that, and I apologize if I did. For those who are saying, Derrick, I don't want to ever listen to you again, it's totally understandable. I appreciate you while I had your support and helping me get the message out about healing and healthy relationships to so many people who needed it, myself included. And for those who are going to continue to support, man, I appreciate you like never before, because I know is not going to be easy going forward, at least for a little while so many things are still fresh and attached to my name. But for everybody out there, if you get nothing else from what I've ever said over the last 9 years or right here in this video, please get this. Nothing is right until it is right with God. Nothing works until it comes into alignment with biblical standard of how God told.
Okay, I just cannot. So basically, you cheated on your wife multiple times. You should be apologizing to people who believed in you and who supported you. You should be apologizing to your wife and your children. I haven't heard an apology yet. And we are literally less than a minute with the video almost over. And this clown is still like coaching us. Like he's still talking to us. Like we're supposed to be taking instruction from him when he cannot. He's just proven. It's just been proven multiple times, time and time again, that he doesn't even follow what he says. So why am I still listening to you? Like, why am I supposed to be like listening to you? And he still has this authoritative type behavior. Like he still feels like he's in control because they're very controlling. Narcissists is very controlling. And he just acts like he thinks he is deserving to be a leader and someone who can be leading people and telling them things when he can't even live by his own rules. So miss me with the bullcrap. I don't want to hear it. I'm really literally still rolling my eyeballs like the whole way through. It's just like, okay, you can't tell me anything. You couldn't tell me anything before, but I know some people did listen to him and needed to hear what he had to say. I wasn't one of those people, but he is like still preaching to people like he's some pastor. I mean, it's clear he's watched too many pastors and preachers do this type of apology, you know, after their infidelity. Like there's just nothing, there's no respect for that person anymore. Like you don't even respect yourself. You don't respect your marriage. You don't get to talk to me like I'm supposed to be taking notes.
To do things, especially when we're talking about a marital, spiritual covenant.
Yes.
You know, you cannot do this by your own understanding, your own intelligence, your own willpower, your own values. You have to have the grace of God to break.
You know, he doesn't get to preach to us. He does not get to preach to us. Because all he's showing me is that not only do you know what you're supposed to be doing to have a healthy relationship and you're not doing it, that's just what's so wrong about it. Like, it's one thing to be like, I don't know how to have a healthy relationship, but this guy's supposed to be like the guru of good, healthy relationships, and he doesn't even follow what he knows, the information, this knowledge that he has. Second, you're sitting here preaching to us, so you obviously know the word of God. You know what you're supposed to be doing as a godly man, and you're still not doing it. You are contradicting yourself constantly, and that is the blueprint of a narcissist. They sit here and they're literally talking out their mouth. Their mouth is moving and they're saying one thing and they're doing something completely different. So his wife is feeling motivated because he's bringing up God and she's in love with God and religion and all that great stuff. And I just feel like he's keeping her brainwashed and duped and hypnotized. Like he's just going to keep talking about God. Like every time, just to get her, keep her thinking that he's turned to leave. He hasn't turned to leave. So I literally can't wait to hear from his wife now that she's found out that more women are coming out and more stuff is coming out. Because I don't know if it's going to take a mental breakdown. I hope it's not worse than that. But something's got to snap this girl out of this because she looks like a clown. He has her looking like a clown. And I honestly wish he would shut up. I wish he would let his wife speak and he would make this video about her. Not him and his big muscle. He's so big. He doesn't even look right. Like his big muscles or whatever he's doing with his body. He doesn't even look right. He looks like he was like fat and he like put muscle over the fat. So I just wish he would make it about her. But he's not going to do that because he's a narcissist. He's incapable of making it about anyone except himself. Like I don't think he even mentioned his children in his whole video. He never mentioned his children. His 2 daughters who one day have to grow up and find out their dad cheated on their mother like over and over and over again. Like extremely like humiliated her nationally and internationally. No words. And this is your first video coming out. I see no remorse. I see no apology. No apology. I don't see no tears. I don't see no nothing. I see a man who's in love with himself, that knows that he got away with murder. And when you allow a narcissist to get away with stuff with no consequences, they will continue their behavior. They cannot help themselves. It's like I think most of the serial killers are narcissists. If I can keep getting away with it, they're going to do it.
Free from certain things, to stay away from certain things, to not operate from your lowest self, whatever it may be. And it's because it's really only by God's grace that we're even able to be here on this video, holding hands. Well, like a year ago, 7-8 months ago even, I couldn't see this happening. I thought it was over, and I already had begun establishing my relationship with God. But that's the fruit of bringing things in alignment with God, and the mess that's been made, the mess that's now being made public from last year. And
every time he mentions God, I want to vomit, because it's such a contradiction. Like, you're not God-fearing. If you were like a God-fearing person, you wouldn't cheat on your wife like that. Like you you're not married. You're just sleeping around like you're just a single guy. And now you can't get enough of tossing God's name out. That makes me angry. That makes me very angry when people use God. He is using God for his success. He's using God to save his business. He's using God to keep his wife sitting next to him so she won't take the kids and take half of his wealth or his riches or whatever he's got going on. He makes me sick. Everything about him makes me want to throw up. And the more he talks and brings up God, who literally has nothing to do with him in his relationship, because God wasn't with you. You did not take God with you anywhere. When you showed up and showed out, and you're still showing out. There ain't nothing in my mind that can tell me you're not. Like, I don't believe it. And you just dropping God's name like he's a prop. He's not a prop. There's real laws, there's real rules, there's real commandments that you're supposed to be following. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, but it's clear he's not even trying. I wanted to see an apology. I wanted to see him say, I'm going to counseling. I wanted to see more humility. Like, I have a sexual addiction. I'm so sorry I disappointed you guys. I didn't hear an apology once. I also noticed his followers dropped by about 5,000 subscribers in the last 6 days, and I hope to see more leave. He doesn't deserve to have people following him. He is not a good person.
Years past, that's a result of getting out of alignment with doing things God's way. So that's where I stand. That's where we stand. And again, we appreciate you guys, and we'll see you soon. Peace.
Yeah, I'm going to throw up. I am going to throw up. Look how they end this. Like, peace. He's biting the bottom lip like he's all that. She's smiling this fake smile with this little hand. It's just the weirdest. Oh, Lord. Lord. And people may be saying, like, why is everyone talking about this? Why is it so important? It's important because narcissists exist. And now that we know what they are, we need to be, like, red flags aware of them. Because if they say that personality disorder is not curable. So you just have these people walking amongst us who look like they're normal, and they are extremely abusive. Verbally, mentally, emotionally, physically, etc. You name it, they're doing it. Sexually, everything. They are, to me, one of the most dangerous types of people you should be, like, ever attaching yourself to. So it's very important that people speak out, because what he's doing to her that's abuse. It's just, there's no words. There's no words. Like, this was like the most disturbing video I've ever seen in my life. Like, with a couple talking about cheating. Like, I didn't see any remorse. And I mean, I could see, like, okay, if it was one time, and you'd be like, man, like, I really messed up. I'm so sorry I cheated on my wife, and I, embarrassed my family, let my daughters down. I saw nothing, none of that, and he didn't do it just one time. And he did it in the marital bed. And I think his wife just had a baby. I'm pretty sure he was doing it while she was pregnant. I can't with this dude. So that's my commentary, guys. It's bad when I come out, when I finally make a video, because I should have been created a channel, and I don't know, I just didn't, I just don't really have any real desire to be famous. I'm an introvert, but this situation speaks to me because I'm going through it myself, and because I'm getting out, and because I feel like people need to know my story so they know they can get out too. Danae, girl, like, if you need to talk, like, hit me up. Like, you need to get out. This will not get any better. It won't get any better from here. It just won't. And it's hard to understand that or to accept that, especially when you have children with him. But for your own sanity, and you deserve better, you need to leave. You need to leave him behind and get your alimony, your child support, start your life new. You deserve better. So, guys, that's all I have to say for this very tragic video. You can email me at samanthathegreat@gmail.com if you want to reach out if you have any questions, or you can leave stuff, comments in the comment section. Make sure to like or subscribe the video if you got anything from it. And I'm looking forward to creating more videos just talking about different things that are going on in the Black community, such as, well, for me anyway, I'm a vegetarian, or being a mom, or raising twins, which I have twins. So just like little things like that I don't really feel like there's enough content out there. I'm starting my new channel just to kind of shed some light on some things that I feel like are just I don't feel represented enough as a Black woman with certain lifestyles that I live on a regular basis. And so that's why I'm creating my channel. So if you like this video, you feel like you got something from it, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys again soon. Take care. Bye.